moss. More moss to the people, yeah, more moss. More moss to the people, yeah, more moss. More moss to the people. Hi, this is Asa Nilsson, and you're listening to More Moss to the People, where each week we're going to be talking about slowing down, even hurling ourselves off of the Ferris wheel of the production first mentality, and choosing to live a courageous life based on our own needs first, and daring to be different in a world where sameness is encouraged more highly than living a life of authenticity. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to More Moss to the People, the place where cool conversations are had with super cool people. Today, I've got Jaclyn Smith with me from Austin, Texas, right?
Yes.
Yes, welcome, welcome. I'm going to dive right in here, and I'm going to ask you, my darling tarot queen, give us, if you would, a little bit of an understanding of who you are. Who are you? Who's my girl?
Well, like you said, I'm Jaclyn Smith, and I live in Austin, Texas, born and raised. And I do tarot for a living. It's something that I, just started as a hobby for fun, and just was like, oh, I'm gonna try my hand at it on YouTube. And I think it just was like something bigger than me, and I just, tried my, doing tarot and cards on YouTube, and it really just started to build its own following, and
Like
that's what I
super
do now.
crazy quickly.
Yeah, crazy quick. Like within a couple of months, I had thousands and thousands of subscribers, and I kind of just went with it. And something basically what I'm trying to say is something that I started as for fun and for a hobby turned into being my full-time gig. I get to do YouTube full time and be a content creator and talk about tarot and help people on the World Wide Web on YouTube, which who doesn't know what YouTube is? So.
Right. Yeah, I'm surprised if somebody doesn't know what YouTube is. And I mean, this is for me, I mean, I've heard of YouTubers, and now I liken myself to be one with my 134 followers, I think.
Yes, yes.
That's right. You got to start. Exactly right.
I had 135 subscribers at one time. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, that's right.
we all
And I
have.
mean, you got such good energy. And when my girl here in Sweden introduced me to you, I'll get to that in a minute. But first, I have to ask you about your name. It's so fantastic. Were your parents like super huge Charlie's Angels fans?
Yes and no. They actually both were big Jacqueline Kennedy fans. Jackie O, and so, but her name is the long spelling Jacqueline, and that's like the original like French
like
name,
French
I believe.
Version,
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure
think,
Jacqueline is a French name.
I think so too.
And they both just loved Jackie O and her style. And I mean, like, who didn't love her beautiful outfits? And she was so classy and all the stuff. So she's kind of basically who I'm named after.
Okay.
But my parents liked the spelling, the shorter version, Jaclyn. And so just easier. It was but I'm like, I like that. I'm like, I'm kind of named after both in a way. And I've met Jaclyn Smith, the Charlie's Angels actress. I met her when I lived in LA for a little bit. She was just like eating lunch with like her husband at a cute little cafe in LA. And my friends were like, you have to go say something. And I was like, of course. I don't want to bother her, but I
my
did.
Namesake,
she was so sweet.
My mini namesake. Oh,
yes.
See,
yes.
I
and
love
we like
that.
took a picture, and it was wonderful. And she was an angel in real life. Like, she was so sweet. and so beautiful. And I just was
Uh-huh.
like, I have the same name as you. And she's like, I've met other women or that have like named their daughters and like my name or have used that. She goes, but I've never met another Jaclyn Smith with the same first and last name. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
yes.
See, you knew. See, I've heard that she's a very sharp woman too, like very business
Hmm.
savvy, which
She
I
is.
think you are too, because like you
Thank
just
you.
said, you went with it, right? Like think about how many people would have like total imposter syndrome and would be like, yeah, no, this is going way too fast. I can't handle this. Holy crap, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
So, so now I'm going to go back to when I was introduced to you from my friend here in Sweden, because she knows that I love tarot. I love the tarot. And I have been,
Yes.
throwing some cards since the 90s. And, always with girlfriends, when we're having wine and everybody's like, we got the book out and we're reading like the exact, like, takes us an hour and a half to do one reading. And, so my friend today says to me, "You've got to go on this girl's channel on YouTube." And I'm like, "Okay, all right." And then she's like, "No, really." And it's very rare that she says, because she is a videographer and she's really, really good at like paying attention to really excellent people, especially on video, which that's interesting. And that caught my eye because she said it. So I started to watch you and I was amazed. This isn't this isn't a podcast about work, but you're extremely talented and I love your technique. And you have so many people that are following you now for, I don't want to say counsel, but like they're your peeps. You've got people now that are like relying on you for for love and for support. And you give it, girl, in spades, in spades. I mean,
Thank you
what
so
is that
much.
like for you?
It feels like a whole new world in my life has just a whole
Mm,
new chapter
mm,
has opened up and just kind of the door exploded with this whole journey.
yeah.
And I just feel so I literally every morning when I wake up, I say my little gratitudes and I cuddle with my dog Chino when I say, thank you for this day. Thank you
Yeah.
for you, Chino. Thank you for YouTube. Thank you for my
Mm,
subscribers or anyone who's ever supported. Because it's not just about the cards. I mean, you obviously watch and we talk about big life stuff,
mm,
big hurdles, big getting through
no,
the darkest times and all the things. And so, um, you know, I'm just so grateful to have so many people that choose to want to watch and be a part
mm,
of my channel, and my journey with that. And
yeah,
it's just it feels like a responsibility, even like
yeah.
again, it feels bigger than me, almost like I'm a mama bear figure to a bunch
Mhm,
of people out all across the world who, like you said, or look forward to their Aries video, their Pisces
yeah,
video, their Cancer video, whatever
yeah,
their
yeah.
sign or whatever.
Mm,
And I just feel so grateful to have such a support system all across the world because I feel like um, I feel like we're always helping each other, even though I
yep,
don't always get to see and talk to each and every one of my viewers or
yeah,
subscribers.
yeah,
I know through comments and messages and emails, people share their stories with me, or hey, I was
mm,
having a rough day, and your video came across my feed, and
mm,
it just gave me a new perspective, or or just whatever their story is, and I've
yeah,
just it comes full circle for me
mm,
because I just feel honored to play that role in people's lives.
mm.
Like
And I
what an
love that.
honor, you know?
Well, it is an honor, and, that makes my heart go boom because there's so few people that talk like this. And when I was watching you and you do something called a general reading, and for people that don't understand anything about tarot cards, there's, if you were to do like a private reading with me and do my tarot cards, that's just for me specifically, but a general reading means
Exactly.
that you're reading it for everybody that's a Cancer, Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces, whatever. So when you do these readings, you are so present and you are laughing, you are singing, you've cried and you're like moving around, you're doing all these things. And I'm just watching you. I'm like, oh, she's beautiful. She is spirit. It's like I'm watching an actual version of what I perceive as God to be. And so when you're saying to me that you wake up and you say in gratitude and you hold your dog and you say thank you and I'm so grateful for You too. I'm thankful for my life. I'm thankful for my home. I mean, all the things that we're thankful for, you know, I honestly believe because you are that way, that is why you keep getting all these things. All things are all good things are waiting for everybody. But the point of
Yes.
gratitude, whoo, that's big. That is a big, that's where everything can start. Yeah.
That's
So
right. Because it's really easy to
coming.
be on the other side of it. It's
Mm,
really easy to, I had a rough day and, you wake up in the morning and you might still be in that not good feeling from whatever happened. And so
mm,
it's real easy to not be in the attitude of
yeah.
gratitude. And so
Yes.
I catch myself every morning. And if even
Yep.
if my mind wants to trail to
Yep.
one place or another, I go, mm-mm,
Mm,
we're not starting our day like that.
no.
And I take my power back
Good.
every morning, every
Love
day,
it.
and
Yes.
I start with intention. And it
Me
doesn't
too.
take long. It takes a minute or two, a couple
Mm,
deep breaths and setting an intention and starting with gratitude is literally just been a game changer for me.
yes.
So,
Me
and I was
too.
doing this before my channel, just like I am abundant and I am loved, and all the things
Mm,
where I felt in lack or
yes.
insecure, I would just, one of my good old bosses I worked for Whole Foods for a really long time, and one of my old
Ooh, whole
bosses said,
paycheck.
whole paycheck for sure. Even as an employee, we always called it a whole paycheck. But she said to me, she goes, Jaclyn, you got to fake it till you make it sometimes, even
Mm,
if, you're walking in, to your job and you clock in and you're not having the best day, you punch in, you got to turn it on. We need you to
yeah.
fake it till you make it,
Mm,
and so I've kind of taken that with me, and, sometimes not fake it till you make it, but I've just kind of taken that to, hey, sometimes when we don't feel loved, or I don't feel as abundant as I want, or I don't feel as secure in
mm,
something, I
mm,
start saying thank you for that
yep.
anyways.
Mm,
And
hmm,
9 times out of 10, it's going to start trickling and showing up in a new friend or a
mm,
new perspective,
yep.
or, what I need is actually always just right there. So,
Always.
and it's just up to us to flip that script, you
Yep.
know?
That's so right. It's so right. And it's these are important messages. And it's like even though the podcast, the movement of more moss to the people, the whole premise of it is to slow down life or to connect to earth, to reconnect to ourselves and each other and recognize, take a minute and see how am I living my life? How do I show up in the world? And am I part of the solution, which I hopefully we are. And this kind of the importance of the work that you're doing and the fact that you are showing up with your open heart. I mean, this you said that you just basically started learning tarot. Before that, then did you how was your life? How was that kind of your life unfolded? You said when you were 33, if you're okay to talk about it, you said that you had
Oh,
a
yeah,
spiritual awakening. So can you talk a
I
little bit about
did.
that?
I did. Yeah, right when I was turning 33, I don't know, I just started meditating and being more intentional with my life, because a lot of things had my life was really dark at that time, and
Mm,
leading up to that time, I, for example, lost my father a couple years before that, and
mm,
just was feeling not my best self, really
yeah.
depressed, really low, really anxious about life. And just a coworker at the time was like, Jaclyn, you should try meditation. And I was
Mm,
like, okay. And it was the right thing at the right time. And I started
mm,
meditating, and I had dabbled with, tarot my whole life, like you said, like
mhm.
with girlfriends or whatever, like
Yeah.
reading the books. But just this with meditation and meeting my higher self,
Mm,
my angels and guides have always been there. And
mm,
I could all of a sudden, it was like a switch went off and I could hear them, feel them. And that was huge for me.
mm,
And I just kind of went with that journey of, because I started to feel better almost immediately
mm.
when I would sit down, take a couple deep breaths, and meditate. And again, it doesn't have to be, sitting down a corner namaste. Sometimes it would be, hey, I'm going to go for a walk.
Right.
I'm going to go for a walk by myself and look at the trees and look at the skyline and look at the clouds, like,
Mm.
whatever it
Mindful.
was, being mindful, exactly. And once I really got into a good flow with that, I mean, the cards were just calling my name. I would see
Mm,
this deck of cards that I had had for several years, and it's just like my angels and guides would show me that deck, like, just go grab it, just
Mm.
go get that deck.
Mm.
And so, I would go get it, and just started learning more about tarot, more about the history, more about the definitions of each and every card. And
Mm.
then I did a lot of research on YouTube. There's a lot of information about, classes, all of,
Yeah.
what the cards mean technically.
Mhm.
And then I was inspired by other readers. I was like, there's people out here on YouTube doing this. So I just took
Right.
that jump and started doing that. But my life right before I started YouTube was really dark and
Mm.
really just I wasn't in a good place. And it was up to me to turn it around.
Yeah.
I had a lot of love and support. I had an amazing boyfriend at the time. Like, I had a lot of friends, but it was up to me to turn my life around and say, I'm not going to let this depression, I'm not going to let this loss of this person, I'm not going to
Mhm.
let these terrible things take my life anymore, take my
Sure.
power.
Yeah.
Like,
Good.
I can get up
Right.
again and turn this around. And
Mhm.
so it started with me kind of, in a way, what I'm trying to say, I guess, saving myself and learning to that I always, even when I feel alone, I always have my guides. I always have
Mhm.
spirit. I always have
Yeah.
the universe, right?
Mhm.
And that is such a gift and a blessing, because I feel so many of us feel alone or isolated in different versions of our life.
Yeah.
And for me, really being open to spirit and my higher self and listening to that deep, deep calling from within
Mm.
has been the best thing I've ever done for myself.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah, I've just turned it around, and that was, 33, I'm 37,
Mhm.
almost 38 here
Mhm.
coming up in next month in March. So,
Okay.
and I'm so grateful to have listened to myself. And it hasn't been the easiest thing. I've
Mm.
I've made a lot of people upset with decisions that I've made on
That's gonna
working
happen.
for myself, or
Mhm.
choosing myself, learning what
Right.
boundaries are.
Right.
Even
Oh,
at 33 years old, I didn't even know. I'm like, what are boundaries? Someone was like, Jacqueline, you don't have
I'm
any boundaries. I'm like,
55.
what are
Just
you
learned.
talking about? What's a boundary?
Yeah, what does that
And
mean?
so
Uh-huh.
so learning to just, really,
Mm.
not to say no, but I guess to say no more often, and just, you know, be more intentional with myself has been such a learning experience in
Mm.
the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah,
that is something to model after, right? Because I think that we all, as human beings, we're always looking for people around us that are not that we want to copy other people, but we want to see that things are possible. And
right,
sometimes when you're feeling like, okay, this is my life is like a shit show or it's going to hell in a handbasket, that there's nobody coming to save you, right? The
that's
people aren't
right.
going to save you. The world can't save you. You have to save you. And why? I mean, even knowing what that means, like what does it even look like to you? And the whole boundary thing, oh my gosh, please. That's like all new languaging for me because my entire life I've been a people pleaser and I have just like started to recognize that this is something that is changeable because I discovered this book called Boundary Boss by Terry Cole. I name her like in every single podcast episode. I swear to God, I love her. And she wrote about boundaries. I was like, and she said, the languaging, it's all it is languaging and understanding what your own like, where you draw the line in the sand, like, put your foot down and keep it down, as my mom always said. When you put your foot
Yeah,
down, you keep it down. And so that for us, for people who maybe aren't so good with the boundaries, and how we can learn this, it is something that is learnable. But we all need to watch or see somebody else doing it. And so that's how we can all get better. And that's why I wanted to also have cool people, have cool conversations with people who dare to do their life in their way. Because to me, that's like, I'm just going like, yeah, she's doing it. And I just get so excited. And then when I see you on your channel and you've got these women who are looking at you like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. I can do it, right? If I'm doing it, God knows if I'm doing it, somebody else can do it.
yes, I
Yes.
love that.
I know. It's so like, yes, it's like the power of finding our own voices and discovering who it is that we are and what is it that we need and how can we put people around us to surround ourselves with more and more people that can help us see the answers, because sometimes we just can't see the answers. And
Yeah.
sometimes other people could be like, well, this was my answer. It doesn't mean it has to be your answer, but it's like, oh, I didn't even know that was a possibility. Right.
Right. It's just it can be a perspective change, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, like, you're just like, like the hanged man in the tarot, right? Like, where you're just, like,
That's
hanging
right.
upside down, like, looking from a different perspective, like, "Ooh, I love that card." I'm like, "Yes, I need to do that, I need to do that more." And I mean, just to connect with you and hearing your story and how you allowed. And see, that's a real big thing for me too, because I'm a giver. I'm the giver, I'm the giver, I'm the giver, and I'm not really great at accepting. Like, I don't love to accept help. Well, that's also not really nice for the person who also wants to give. So when you said that you had gotten, like, you allowed it to happen, and you kind of like you went with it, where that meant that you accepted the gift and the gift was handed
Right.
to you. You were handed a gift and
Yes.
you were just like, no, it's okay. You know what? It's all right. It's all right. I'm just going to keep doing my 9 to 5 job. It's fine. It's fine. No, you said, okay, yeah, I'm going to try this. And you said that you worked your 9 to 5 job and you came home every night and you got your dinner, you
Mhm.
take your dog for the walk, and then you start doing your videos. You do your videos, you do
Yep.
your videos, right? And then you said, like, after 4 months, I didn't even know this, but there was like some kind of a silver plaque or something that you got because you got 100,000 viewers.
Yes.
I don't understand
Yes,
any
that
of
was
that.
like it's like a really yeah, it was like a really big deal. After a couple months, they're like,
Yes.
"You what's your address?" I mean, they already had my address, like, "What's your address? We're sending you a plaque in the mail," and yeah, it's hanging right over there, so
Okay. Yes, it should be.
for when
Yeah.
you that's for the silver one on YouTube is for 100,000 subscribers.
Uh-huh.
You get a gold one for 1,000,000, so
A
the
million
gold will be
subscribers. Okay.
yes.
Is
So
that the
hopefully
goal?
down the road, yes,
Yeah.
I would oh my gosh, uh for me to have 1,000,000 subscribers, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I would do with myself.
You'd be doing the
But
same thing. You'd be doing the
yes,
same thing, just
I
smiling
probably
even
would be
bigger,
doing this. Yes.
helping even more people to get and find their answers and see the strength in you and modeling that. That's so beautiful. So gorgeous. I love it. Makes me happy. All right. I told you I can talk to you all day long. So, do you have any kinds of tips or like any ideas for, I mean, I think, like, how did you said that you learned tarot, like the meanings and all that stuff. You did your research. You didn't take a course or anything like that.
I just used the
The
book
book.
that
And you yeah.
came with the the deck
Yeah.
and, would do my own spreads, and I would, do the traditional spreads, but then I would also do my own spreads,
Uh-huh.
and, I would just read the booklet and, okay, what does the Knight of Pentacles mean? What does the Queen of Pentacles mean? What's the
Mm,
difference?
mm,
And to get to know all the characters individually and um, but yeah, but I also read intuitively and
mhm,
I'm really into because the cards will tell you one thing, but there's also the colors and their body
mm,
language,
mhm,
and there's so much more going on than
mm.
what the card technically
Yeah,
means.
yeah.
And so for me, I take yes, the meaning of the card with also what am I feeling?
Mhm.
I'll also
What
hear
messages
a
are you getting?
word or I'll see a clip of a movie or a show and I'm like, oh, it's that vibe today. Okay.
You see that in your head?
I will hear it.
You
I'll
hear it.
see, I have both. I'll either hear a word or hear a phrase or hear a song. I get
Mm,
songs a lot.
mm,
I connect with music and my guides, we connect with music a lot.
mhm.
But I also they'll show me like a clip. It looks like a movie clip and it might be a literal movie or an old memory or something something that I will know specifically. And I'm like, oh, it's that. Okay.
Oh,
I understand.
that's cool. And you
So
do this so fast. I mean, on these videos, it's amazing to me because you're just like, you're whipping through these cards and like things are flying everywhere and you're reading them. And I'm just like, what is she
I know
saying?
I do move fast, I talk fast. I've heard this. I'm like, I try to slow down and speak a little bit slower and more intentional, but sometimes if I slow down too
No.
much,
Yeah.
I'll lose the vibe
Yeah.
or
No. People can
I'll
listen to it
second
again.
guess
Hi,
myself.
Chino.
So
Hi, gorgeous.
I just fly through. Hey, Bubba. Hey, Bub.
Yeah, I just listened to them again. I mean, 45-minute videos. I'm like, I'm doing it again. I'm like, click, and I'm taking my notes. I just
Yes.
love it. I just think it's fantastic. How many decks do you have?
Oh my gosh. Like probably close to 100.
Ooh.
Like in my office, I actually had to go to, where did I go? Like the Container Store,
Uh-huh.
and I went in the like the office section where I actually had to get, there's these inserts that you can buy that are for cabinets, and they're just, anyways, they fit my decks of cards perfectly, and I bought
Uh-huh.
4 of them. And
Okay.
there's like, I don't know,
A couple.
30, 40 slots per container. So
Do you
anyways,
keep
there's
them
a
all in
lot.
the
I have a
boxes?
lot. No, I have a thing. I'll have to send you a picture,
I
but
have a
I don't like
thing.
them. I don't like them in the boxes. I
Okay.
actually keep them out, organized, sitting, like kind of sitting up in their little holders.
Hmm.
And they're all on this really long desk with crystals and,
Mm.
all a good vibe. That way, when I'm sitting and doing a reading for myself
Yeah.
or, for somebody else, and I just need to go meditate, I I'll just pull different decks and I want them available right then and there.
Hmm.
I don't want to take them out of the box.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just am like,
Mm.
I'm gonna grab this one, and I have a bunch of Oracle decks. So I mean, altogether I probably have, I would say, at least 80 to
Oh my
close to
God.
100. I don't know. I have a bunch. I have a
That's
bunch.
a lot of decks. But
Yes.
you're getting your stories. I think that's great. I mean, you give a beautiful story out of them. So they're working
Thank
for
you.
you and they're working for the world. So thank God for
Yes.
that. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gifts with the world. And for that, I
Thank you.
discovered you and I would love to have you back when you get to 1,000,000.
Yes. I love it. All right. Deal.
Yeah, deal. And tell me, I'm gonna get from you all your like social media handles. Like, I mean, I know that you're on Instagram and obviously you're on YouTube. And I'll put them in the show notes. And then, is there any last minute anything that you'd like to say to anybody? Because like this is what I say to myself and to my guests. If I can help one person today, if one person needs to hear something from our conversation today, then that's terrific. Then I've done my job. Do you have anything on your heart or anything that you'd like to share with whoever is listening today? Anything on your heart?
Of course. No, I have so many things to say, but I feel like the biggest thing that's coming up is to just don't give up. Like, don't give up on yourself. And I know that we all hear things like that, but sometimes the biggest blessing or the best day of your life is just one more step around the corner,
Yeah.
is waking up one more day with confidence that that dream, that thing will come in. And I'm only saying this with confidence because I've done it myself. I've wanted
Okay.
to, give up on this or that, or, oh, it's never going to happen.
Mm,
But it does. If you truly believe in
mm,
yourself, I feel like that's the biggest
mm,
gift, just to don't give up.
mm.
People have all different sorts of dreams, goals, aspirations. It's up to the individual to make it happen. Go grab it. Go grab your
Yes.
dream, because you can make it happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
would have to say. And thank you, of course, so much for having me. This
Oh my
was
gosh, it
super
was
fun
my
to chat
pleasure.
with you.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited when you said that you would do it. And I just realized I have not even said the name of your channel since you've been on here. And Jaclyn's channel is called Universal Intuition.
Yes.
Universal Intuition, with your beautiful new logo that you just had done
Yes.
by, what was the gentleman's name?
His name is Stephen W. Garcia, and
Stephen.
I'll give you his
Yes.
Instagram handle. He
Yes.
does all of his artwork.
Yep.
He displays it mostly on Instagram, so I'll share
Good.
that if anyone wants
Yes.
to go follow him. He's
Exactly.
also I have a long sleeve shirt on, but one of his art pieces is tattooed on my arm forever anyway. So it
Okay.
was a perfect come
Mm.
full circle moment to get to work with this artist again. So
Oh,
yes.
that's excellent. That's excellent. Yes, we got to give props where props are due, because I know that you were
Yes.
super happy with the work that he did. So that's excellent. I love that. I love supporting other business owners. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Me
Well,
too.
thank you so much, Jaclyn. I do appreciate your time today. I know you're busy. So until next time, we will stay in contact, and we will certainly watch you on your channel and learn more about ourselves.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of More Moss to the People. I am Asa Nilsson.
If you like this episode, I'd love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, follow the podcast, share it with a friend. I want to say thank you to Kamel Asli for his help with the production of this podcast. Without him, this would not even be in your ears today. I can assure you of that. And let me say a little something about my friend Gregory Paul Donaldson, may he rest in peace, who would always leave me with this quote. He would say, "In the meantime and between time, whatever you do, do it well, and then pass it on. Peace, and most importantly, joy." I want to leave you with that as well. I'll see you on the flip side, my friend. Take care.